Welcome back to Gray Squadron Gaming, where we have another exciting episode of our unboxing series. This is the second starter we're showing off today. This is the new Spider Foe starter, which is awesome, to say the least. You get all the Spider Foes you see pictured there. In fact, the box is big, so if I pick up my rig, you can see the top of it. It is actually the same amount of stuff in the X-Men starter set. And just to show you guys the difference in size real quick, this is the X-Men starter, so it's got a good height on it, and it's also got a good amount of width on it as well. So it's a big box, even though it comes with the same amount of minis, because the minis are a little bigger overall. But before I show you everything in this box, I want to talk about some giveaways we're always offering. We have our painting competition going on. It's wrapping up here, and we have tons of giveaways for MCP showing off. I have stacks and stacks and stacks of these awesome Crisis cards. I have stacks of character cards in here, including more Crisis cards. Look at all these. So we'll give away some for the last unboxing. So if you haven't watched the X-Men unboxing, go watch that one and leave a comment. If you'd like to enter in this video, leave a comment. And that way we give away goodies to people who didn't enter the painting contest. If you enter the painting contest, you can enter this too. Double dip. Sounds good to me. Okay, Spider Foes. What does it come with? Let's see. Here's our back of our box. These will be unpainted in the box. Of course, they will not come painted, just like the minis. But in this box, we have a Green Goblin, a Craven, a Lizard, a Mysterio, 2 Sand Constructs to go with the Sandman, a Shocker, a Carnage, a Rhino, a Vulture, and Electro. So that's our minis. Then we get 12 bases, 10 character stat cards, 2 Sand Constructs cards, 21 Team Tactics cards, 12 of the Crisis cards, 2 token sheets, 10 dice, 3 movement tools, 4 range tools, 1 mission tracker, and 3 of the tracking cubes, all in this awesome box. So let's go ahead and get into it and see what's in this great looking box. This box is considerably bigger than the other box. So cut that, and then of course we're gonna cut the last one here. Okay, let's open her up. Okay, we've got, so no real divider in these boxes. It's just kind of everything in there. So you get, this one is the same as the other one. You get some extra baggies, which I'm assuming is for cards and tokens if you don't have a storage system, because they give you a stack of extra bags. You're going to get your dice with your 3 cubes for round and score tracking on the board. This should be, yep, our templates and movement, our range rulers and templates and stuff all in here. Same ones that come in all the other things. Nothing different about those. Yeah, and this is why this box is so much bigger, because the sprues are definitely larger than the last. So don't worry, we'll open them up and go through all the sprues. I'm just getting everything out of the box first. Some more baggies to store your stuff with, I guess. We have our token sheets, which these token sheets are the same ones that come in the Earth Mightiest one, so the newer ones. We have the scoreboard here. That's where those cubes go on. We have our Crisis cards, our Tactic cards, and our player cards here. And lastly in the box, of course, is the insert, which it looks like a lot of inserts. So there you go. Okay, so first things first, let's move this box out of our way and let's start opening these sprues and take a look at what we got. Nothing in this box, like I said in the other one, is new, as in new minis or new anything. It's all repackaged into a nice starter set, an easy entry point for someone getting into the faction or the game even used. So let's get some of these out. Now, the only negative I have is these things are kind of just, they're all the sprues from those other individual boxes they came out with, just kind of put in here. So there's no real, you gotta be careful removing the screws I'm trying to get at, because you don't want to damage any of the miniatures getting them out. That's my only negative I have for it. Everything else about these boxes have been great. So I don't want to pull too much, so we'll just take this one out first. He's right on top. This is the small one. We've got parts of the Lizard. So of course he's got more screws we got to work on getting out. There we go. Here's the other parts to the Lizard. So he's got his 2 screws. There's his head, body, tail, the water shoots up out of. We have Craven with his spear, which you got to watch this. And these are a little thinner, so when you're cutting them, be careful. There's his face. This is, of course, Green Goblin himself. One of my favorite Spider-Man comics, or some of my favorite comics I've collected for many years, so I really dig the Spider Foes box a lot, because I feel like Spider-Man and Batman, for that argument, have the best rogue gallery out there. I don't think that's too debatable, but maybe I'm wrong. Which one's better though, Spider-Man or Batman? Who has the better rogue gallery? You guys should comment below. That'd be interesting to see what you guys think. The other thing to Rhino there, you see, this was the first one I was showing off. This is the rest of him. He's girthy. He's got meaty to him. You know, he's just a big boy. That's why this box is bigger. Just gotta be real careful taking these screws out of this bag, because some of them have the parts to keep them off each other, but kind of get stuck in each other a little bit, almost more than it helps. At least in these packages, because they weren't originally made to be stacked on top of each other. So this is Mysterio. Got his little dome head there and everything. Let's see if I can get the rest of these out without hurting anything. The little pokey parts are causing a problem. There we go, we got in. Okay, and this is why I was being careful. I didn't want to damage any of Carnage's kind of symbiote wisp, I guess we'll call this. So, there's Carnage's head there. Some more of his body parts. He's a cool mini. And then we have Electro and Vulture. So you got Electro's fist there. Vulture over here. There's the rest of Mr. Electro. There's his face. I'm sorry, Shocker was this one. This is Electro. Got it mixed up a little bit there for a second. It happens. Then we have the giant constructs for Sandman, which do look awesome. They are very big. And of course, actual Sandman mini himself. He's got an awesome head sculpt and great texture across the body. Looks very, very cool. Okay, we'll put those back later very carefully and build them up for you here in a second and show them off. We'll show them all painted and built here with the power of editing after this. The other thing people ask a lot about is the cards, what crisis cards come in here, etc. I'm not going to go over all the character cards because there's no characters. They're new. So we got Patch Up, Joint Effort, Matrix, Firepower, Brace for Impact, Fearful. You can read them, but the art, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the art more than the names at this point. They all look great. If you're curious what cards come with this one, here's your answer. Really like the art on these cards. I store them in my binder this way so I can see the art as I'm flicking through. And then of course you're going to get your crisis cards. These are your construct cards, sorry. These goes with Sandman. And these start your crisis cards. So those are all the crisis cards you get as well. And then of course your character cards, which is nothing new except for if they've had any updates. These would be the most current updated version of those cards. But you got Goblin and Carnage and Electro and Kraven and Lizard and Mysterio. And we got Rhino and Sandman and Shocker and Vulture. So that's everything you get in here. Showed you the dice and everything else already. So let's go ahead and with the power of editing, we will show you them built and painted. And boom, they're built and painted. Definitely wasn't already built and painted from when they came out in their own little boxes. But nonetheless, here we are if you want to see them. So you've got Sandman, awesome mini with his constructs here. Just big. I mean, the hand itself is bigger than the whole entire Shocker mini. So nice and chunky. That's why this box is bigger than the X-Men box, because the minis are so much bigger. You have Shocker, who is in a great pose. I love the little electricity waves coming off him. Electro here, kind of zapping up, very Storm-esque with the lightning kind of coming up off him. Lizard has one of the cooler poses. He's just like leaping out of that sewer. I think that's awesome looking. And then of course you've got Mysterio. She looks great with the wisp coming off of him. You've got Carnage with the awesome symbiote goo kind of stretching across. Kraven in that kind of lunging attack pose. You also have this little danger animal present there. Vulture, kind of a landing or taking off pose there on the wall, looks great. Goblin, very classic Goblin pose on his glider with some pumpkin bombs, getting ready to throw them down. And the biggest mini of the bunch, you have Rhino. He's just a muscle Goliath. He looks great. So that's all the minis built and painted if you wanted to see what they look like in this starter set. This is what you would have to play if you bought the game brand new. You're like, okay, here's my team here. They're all spider foes, so they're all going to work well together, and you can build and construct them in different ways. And you have all the movement tools, dice, templates, tokens, crisis cards you need to play the game. So this is, again, another great option. So now you have the spider foes, you have the X-Men starter set, which we unboxed in a different video. If you're interested, go check it out. Get entered into your contest twice to win. But you have multiple ways here to get into the game now, and 2 great factions. Again, you got X-Men and you got your spider foes. They're still the Earth's Mightiest Heroes if you're more interested in the Avengers / kind of Cabal starting point. And then there's just so many minis for this game, and if you're new to the game and it feels daunting, don't let it feel daunting. Get what you want to start with. Go slow. Lots of cool things you can get into. If you want to be a faction person, pick a faction, go with that first. If you like hopping between factions and mixing and matching, that's great with this game. It can do that as well, so make sure you do that. If you haven't, this is your chance to go watch our other videos and comment those. We have a battle report we dropped a couple of weeks ago or so with the new Spider-Verse people that they just released, and we'll have some more MCP battle reports coming up shortly as well. Trying to get everything filmed around the holidays. It's been interesting. If you have any questions, drop them below. But again, thank you so much for watching as always, and much more to come. Bye.